You think you're doing everything right, but your body is literally fighting against you losing fat, and here's exactly why. Most people fail at fat loss not because they're lazy, but because they're making silent mistakes that destroy their progress every single day. Mistake 1. You're eating healthy foods in unhealthy amounts. This is the #1 trap that catches even the most dedicated people. You swap junk food for almonds, avocado, brown rice, and olive oil, and suddenly you feel like a completely different person. You feel clean, disciplined, and in control. But here's the brutal truth nobody tells you. Healthy food still has calories, and calories still matter more than anything else when it comes to fat loss. A handful of almonds sounds innocent, right? Wrong. That one handful can pack over 200 calories. Add a drizzle of olive oil to your salad. Another 120 calories gone. Slice up a large avocado. You've just added nearly 300 calories to your meal. These foods are absolutely good for your body, but when you eat them without tracking, they silently pile up and completely cancel out your calorie deficit before you even reach dinner. Studies show that people who switch to healthy eating without tracking their intake actually consume up to 50% more calories than they think they do. Your brain registers the food as healthy, so it gives you permission to eat more of it. This is called the health halo effect, and it is quietly killing your fat loss results every single day without you even noticing it. Mistake 2. You're not sleeping enough, and it's destroying your fat loss. Most people obsess over their diet and their workouts, but they completely ignore the one thing that controls almost every fat-burning hormone in their body: sleep. Here is something that will shock you. Research from the University of Chicago found that people who slept only 5.5 hours per night lost 55% less fat compared to those who slept 8.5 hours, even when both groups were eating the exact same number of calories. Let that sink in for a second. Same diet, same calories, but the sleep-deprived group lost barely half the fat. Why does this happen? When you don't sleep enough, your body produces more of a hormone called ghrelin. This is your hunger hormone, and it sends constant signals to your brain telling you that you are starving. At the same time, your levels of leptin, the hormone that tells you that you are full, drop dramatically. So you wake up already hungry, you eat more throughout the day, and your body craves high-calorie, high-sugar foods because your brain is desperately searching for quick energy. On top of that, poor sleep raises your cortisol levels, your primary stress hormone, which directly signals your body to store fat, especially around your belly. You can have the most perfect diet in the world. You can train 5 days a week. But if you are consistently sleeping less than 7 hours per night, your body is chemically programmed to hold on to fat and fight every single effort you make to lose it. Mistake 3. You're doing too much cardio and killing your results. This is the mistake that almost every single person makes when they decide they want to lose fat fast. They lace up their shoes, jump on the treadmill, and start running for hours every single week, because in their mind, more cardio equals more fat loss. It sounds logical. It sounds like the right thing to do. But the science tells a completely different story, and once you understand what is actually happening inside your body, you will never make this mistake again. When you do excessive cardio, we are talking about long daily sessions of steady-state running or cycling. Your body goes through a very specific adaptation process. In the beginning, yes, you burn calories and you feel great. But after a few weeks, your body recognizes this pattern and it starts to adapt. It becomes more efficient at performing that exact cardio, which means it burns fewer and fewer calories doing the same amount of work. Your body is literally learning how to conserve energy against you. But it gets worse. Excessive cardio spikes your cortisol levels significantly, and chronically high cortisol breaks down your muscle tissue for fuel. This is called muscle catabolism, and it is absolutely devastating for fat loss. Here is why. Muscle is your body's primary fat-burning engine. Every single pound of muscle on your body burns calories even while you are sitting completely still. When you lose muscle, your metabolism slows down, your body burns fewer calories at rest, and fat loss becomes harder and harder every single week that passes. The people who lose fat the fastest are not the ones running the most. They are the ones who train smarter. Mistake 4. You're skipping meals and thinking it's helping you. This mistake is incredibly common, and it makes complete sense on the surface. If eating food gives you calories, then skipping meals means fewer calories, which means faster fat loss, right? This logic feels almost impossible to argue with, and that is exactly why so many people fall into this trap every single day. But here is what is actually happening inside your body when you skip meals, and it is the complete opposite of what you are hoping for. When you go for long, extended periods without eating, especially when you skip breakfast or go all day on very little food, your blood sugar levels drop dramatically. Your brain interprets this as a survival emergency. It does not know you are trying to lose fat. It only knows that fuel is running dangerously low and it needs to protect you. So it immediately triggers a powerful stress response. Cortisol floods your system. Your hunger hormones go completely out of control, and by the time you finally sit down to eat, you are so intensely hungry that you consume far more calories in that one sitting than you would have eaten across 3 or 4 normal meals throughout the day. This is called rebound eating, and studies show it happens to almost everyone who skips meals regularly. But there is another layer to this that most people never hear about. When your body is in this prolonged, fasted stress state, it actually begins breaking down your muscle tissue and converting it into glucose for energy. The exact same problem we talked about with excessive cardio. You are losing muscle, slowing your metabolism, and setting yourself up for even harder fat loss down the road while thinking you are being disciplined and doing the right thing. Mistake 5. You're drinking your calories without even realizing it. This is one of the most underestimated and overlooked mistakes in the entire fat loss world, and it is silently sabotaging millions of people every single day. Most people are extremely careful about what they eat. They track their meals, they watch their portions, they say no to dessert, but then they completely forget about everything they drink throughout the day. And this one blind spot can easily add 500 to 800 extra calories to their daily intake without them ever feeling full or satisfied for even a single minute. Think about a typical day for most people. They wake up and have a large flavored coffee from a popular coffee chain. That one drink alone can contain anywhere between 300 and 500 calories depending on what you order, loaded with sugar and flavored syrups. Then throughout the day, they have a glass of orange juice, which sounds incredibly healthy, but contains nearly as much sugar as a can of soda with almost zero fiber to slow down that sugar spike. They have a sports drink after their workout because they feel they earned it, another 150 to 200 calories of pure sugar. Maybe a glass or two of wine in the evening to relax. Each glass adding another 120 to 150 calories on top of everything else. By the end of the day, this person has consumed close to 1,000 liquid calories without eating a single extra bite of food. And here is the most dangerous part about liquid calories. Your brain does not register them the same way it registers solid food. Liquid calories do not trigger your fullness hormones effectively, which means they do not reduce your appetite at all, and you end up consuming them completely on top of your regular food intake, without your body ever signaling you to stop. Mistake 6. You're not eating enough protein, and your body is paying the price. If there is one single nutritional mistake that holds more people back from losing fat than almost anything else, it is not eating enough protein. And the consequences of this mistake go so much deeper than most people ever realize. The majority of people who are trying to lose fat focus almost entirely on cutting calories and reducing carbohydrates, while completely ignoring protein intake. And on the surface, this seems reasonable. Fewer calories means less food, means more fat loss. But what is actually happening inside their body tells a completely different story. When you do not eat enough protein while in a calorie deficit, your body does not simply burn fat for fuel. Instead, it begins breaking down your existing muscle tissue to get the amino acids it needs to keep your organs functioning properly. You are essentially eating yourself from the inside out. losing the very muscle that your body desperately needs to burn fat efficiently. But protein does something else that almost nobody talks about. It has an incredibly powerful effect on your hunger and your appetite. Out of all three macronutrients, protein is by far the most satiating. Studies consistently show that people who eat high-protein diets naturally consume fewer calories throughout the day because they simply feel fuller for longer periods of time. Protein also has the highest thermic effect of any food, meaning your body actually burns more calories just digesting and processing protein compared to carbohydrates or fats. Research suggests that around 25 to 30% of protein calories are burned off during digestion alone. So by not prioritizing protein, you are simultaneously losing muscle, staying hungry all day long, burning fewer calories through digestion, and making your fat loss journey dramatically harder than it ever needed to be. Mistake 7. You're relying on the scale too much, and it's destroying your motivation. This mistake is not just a physical one. It is deeply psychological, and it has caused more people to completely quit their fat loss journey than almost any other mistake on this entire list. Every single morning, millions of people wake up, walk straight to their bathroom, step on the scale, and allow that one number to completely determine how they feel about themselves, their progress, and whether their efforts are actually working. And when that number does not move, or worse, when it goes up, they feel devastated, defeated, and completely hopeless. They start questioning everything. They think their diet is broken. They think their body is different. They think fat loss is simply impossible for them. And a huge percentage of them quit entirely. But here is the truth that the scale will never tell you. Your body weight fluctuates dramatically from day to day, and we are not talking about small changes. We are talking about fluctuations of 2, 3, sometimes even 5 pounds within a single 24-hour period, and every single one of these fluctuations has absolutely nothing to do with actual fat gain or fat loss. Water retention alone can cause massive scale fluctuations. A high-sodium meal the night before can cause your body to hold on to an extra 2 to 3 pounds of water by the next morning. Your menstrual cycle, if you are a woman, can cause significant water retention throughout certain phases. A hard training session causes microscopic muscle damage, which your body repairs by sending water and nutrients to the affected muscles. This temporarily increases your scale weight, even though you are making incredible progress. Glycogen stored in your muscles holds onto water. Every gram of glycogen carries approximately 3 grams of water with it. So when you eat more carbohydrates, your scale goes up. When you eat fewer carbohydrates, your scale goes down. But neither of these movements reflect actual changes in your body fat levels whatsoever. Mistake 8. You're not strength training, and you're making fat loss twice as hard. If you are currently trying to lose fat through diet and cardio alone without incorporating any form of strength training into your routine, you are making your entire journey significantly harder than it needs to be, and the science behind why this happens is so compelling that it will completely change the way you think about fat loss forever. Most people associate strength training with bulking up, getting bigger, and building massive muscles. So when their goal is to lose fat and get leaner, they instinctively avoid the weights section entirely and stick to cardio machines and group fitness classes. This is one of the most costly mistakes you can possibly make. Here is what strength training actually does for your fat loss that absolutely nothing else can replicate. Every single pound of muscle that you build on your body increases your resting metabolic rate, meaning your body burns more calories every single hour of every single day, even while you are sleeping, even while you are sitting at your desk, even while you are watching television and doing absolutely nothing. Research shows that 1 pound of muscle burns approximately 6 to 10 additional calories per day at rest compared to 1 pound of fat. This might sound small, but consider this. If you build just 5 pounds of muscle over several months of consistent strength training, your body is now burning an extra 50 calories every single day without you doing anything differently. Over the course of 1 full year, that adds up to over 18,000 additional calories burned, the equivalent of more than 5 pounds of pure fat. Strength training also creates something called excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, commonly known as the afterburn effect. After an intense strength training session, your body continues burning elevated calories for up to 24 to 48 hours during the recovery and muscle repair process. No steady-state cardio session comes even close to producing this effect. Mistake 9. You're being consistent for days, but not for months. This is the final mistake, and honestly, it is the most brutal one of all, because it does not have anything to do with your diet, your training, or your hormones. It has everything to do with your mindset and your patience. Most people start their fat loss journey with incredible energy and motivation. They clean out their kitchen, they buy new workout clothes, they meal prep on Sunday, they hit the gym 5 days in a row, and they feel absolutely unstoppable. But then life happens. They have a stressful week at work. They miss 2 gym sessions. They eat badly over the weekend. And suddenly that powerful motivation they felt on day 1 completely disappears. So they tell themselves they will restart on Monday. Then Monday becomes next month. Then next month never comes. Here is the truth that nobody in the fitness industry wants to tell you. Fat loss is not a 2-week project or a 30-day challenge. It is a slow, gradual, and deeply unglamorous process that rewards only the people who show up consistently for months, not days. Research consistently shows that sustainable fat loss happens at a rate of just 0.5 to 1 pound per week for most people. That means losing 20 pounds of actual fat could realistically take 5 to 6 months of consistent effort. The people who succeed are not the most motivated. They are the most consistent. Motivation fades for everyone without exception. But discipline, routine, and patience are what separate the people who completely transform their bodies from the people who keep restarting the same journey over and over again every single year. The truth nobody wants to hear, but everyone needs to. You have just gone through 9 of the most common and most damaging fat loss mistakes that people make every single day without even realizing it. And here is what I want you to understand before you close this video and move on with your day. Fat loss is not complicated, but it is also not as simple as just eating less and moving more. It is a complete system, and when even one part of that system is broken, the entire process slows down or stops completely. You now know that healthy food in the wrong amounts will still make you gain weight. You know that sleeping less than 7 hours is chemically destroying your fat-burning hormones. You know that too much cardio is eating away at the very muscle your body needs to burn fat efficiently. You know that skipping meals triggers a survival response that makes you overeat later. You know that liquid calories are silently adding hundreds of extra calories to your day without ever making you feel full. You know that protein is the most powerful and most underused fat loss tool available to you. You know that the scale is lying to you and measuring the wrong things. You know that strength training is building a fat-burning engine inside your body that works around the clock. And you know that consistency over months, not motivation over days, is the only thing that will ever produce real lasting results. The people who transform their bodies are not genetically gifted. They are not following secret diets or taking magic supplements. They simply stopped making these mistakes and started showing up every single day with patience and purpose. Now you have every single tool you need. The only question left is whether you are actually going to use them.